So once again, we will create another example, 29 JSTL. Let's open this example 29 JSTL. So we created an index page, and before we start with this example, I just want to insert the taglab directive. Now in this example, I want to create attributes var value and scope. Suppose we have an attribute ABC with value 123 and we want to save this attribute into the request scope. Once again, we want to create one more attribute with the same name, but the value is 234 and we want to save this attribute in session scope. So right now we have two attributes. Both the attributes have same name ABC and their values are different, and these attributes are saved in different scope. Now I want to remove the attribute, right? So before removing the attribute, let's print these attributes first of all. C out. Now using the EL, we can specify the attribute name. First of all, we will access the attribute in request scope. So let's say the request scope is an EL implicit object and represents to a map of all the attribute in request scope. So the key is one of the attribute name, and the attribute name is ABC. So we just printed this attribute value. Attribute in request scope. Now insert the line break, and once again we want to print the attribute, so we write attribute in session scope cout.value. Now let's access the session scope EL implicit object, which is a map of all the attributes in session scope, and as we know that the attribute name is the same ABC, that is why there is no issue, and this way we will print these values. And now remove the attribute C remove. So we use the remove tag. Here we specified the var. Inside the var I specified ABC, and I just say just remove this attribute ABC. What would happen? So to understand this example, we printed the request scoped and session scoped attributes once again. So let's try this example and experience what happens when we simply say to remove the attribute. And because there are two attributes with the same name in different scopes, so what we expected from remove tag. So let's run this example, 29 JSTL. Attribute in request scope 123, attribute in session scope 234. But when we remove the attribute, what happened? Neither we are able to access the attribute in request scope, nor we able to access the attribute value in session scope. So simply the remove tag removes the attribute from all the available scope.